Hi guys, so today I want to talk about my diagnosis. What was the triggering point? I know I had lots of symptoms, but which one ultimately was the cause, or which one was ultimately the one that got me diagnosed? So there was a lot of symptoms, but which one came out and was able to give me my diagnosis? If you followed the link to my video prior to my diagnosis, I explained my symptoms I had prior to my diagnosis. So if you click on the link right now, you'll get my other video, which will explain my symptoms leading up to my diagnosis. So like I said, my diagnosis was such a dragged out process. And again, I think that's fairly common in Crohn's disease, especially in people that didn't have a huge attack. It ends up being a slow, dragged out process. Like, we suffer for a while before we get our diagnosis. So I had several visits to our local walk-in clinic, just ran general testing, general blood work, general poop samples, and some imaging testing. And they did that for a few months. And then I kept redoing the tests, because I kept saying, like, there's something wrong, like, this isn't right, the symptoms are not going away. Then the smoking gun happened. One of my stool samples came back positive for mucus and positive for blood. Now, the mucus is coming from ulcerations. And the blood, I didn't know, because when it comes from further up, it's black. And unless you're losing a big amount, then your whole stool would be black. But if you're losing it just in small amounts, it's just specks. So I had no knowledge of it. If you lose blood from lower down, then you would see blood when you go to the bathroom. And typically that's more colitis than Crohn's. But it could happen in both. You can pass blood with Crohn's disease as well. So then I got referred to a specialist, and that's how the proper testing and the proper imaging test and my first colonoscopy came about, which left me thinking, you know, I got my diagnosis then, so it ultimately led to my diagnosis. The smoking gun, which was the poop sample, which is very important to get, was the smoking gun, and which led ultimately to my diagnosis, and then left me thinking, what the heck is Crohn's disease? I've never ever heard of this before. What is this getting me into? And I felt confused. I felt lost. I felt all kinds of feelings that I can't explain. But yeah, it left me thinking, what the heck? And then that's when I started hitting the books and doing research and a little bit. But then I got further into it after I had seen that doctor, and he gave me that book, which kind of led me on the right path. So thank you for watching my channel, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.